Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for those of you wherever you're tuning in from. I'm Johnny Mac, and for those of you that are returning subscribers, welcome back to another New World video. Now, this video is the third one for today that I've recorded, and I will have links to the other two videos down below in the description. As the title suggests, the healing meta is over. Now, I've been appealing to the sentiment that this is a good time to return to New World, and this is my final point, and we're going to be talking about how the healing meta is over. Yes, that's right, the healing meta is over. Amazon Game Studios has introduced a plethora of new perks that are going to end the healing meta. So for those of you that left the game under the sentiment and overall dismay that you absolutely hated the healing meta in the game, the end is near. So let's go ahead and talk about these changes, shall we? So I will actually leave a link in the description below to the original patch notes that the developers put out in the December PTR, and we're going to hone in on just this chunk. Now, additional perks were added in the PTR, and here we go. So logging efficiency, logging speed increased by 3 to 15%. Mining efficiency, mining speed increased by 3 to 15%. Skinning efficiency, once again, that whole range of efficiencies for all your life skills have been added to the game of 3 to 15%. Now we're going to be getting into the actual nitty gritty. Okay, we're going to be talking about the new plague meta that is coming. This is the anti-healing meta, guys. So, plagued crits. Critical strikes against targets below 50% health inflict disease for 12 seconds, reducing healing effectiveness on the target by 10 to 40%. Now, the 10 to 40%, they just a little while ago modified this, and it actually went live on the PTR this morning. There was downtime in which they put this patch in, so we'll go over that at the end. But the biggest thing is plagued crits, right? That's a big one. So, no longer can a healer be, brought down less than 50%, and then all of a sudden, boop, up to 100% again, right? So that's a big one. Plagued crits, guaranteed. Almost anybody and everybody's going to be running this, especially those who are probably ranged. I have a very large feeling that plagued crits is going to be one of the most commonly sought after perks. Okay, plagued strikes. Heavy attacks against targets inflict disease for 8 seconds, reducing healing effectiveness on the target by 10 to 40. Once again, that 10 to 40 is not currently standing. They have reduced that. I think the max is 25%, I do believe. We'll talk about that later. Thwarting Counter. Deal 10 to 25% additional damage against targets with active grit. So once again, grit, for those of you that don't know, grit allows you to be uninterruptible in your light or heavy attacks, basically any attack. Well, now, for those of the players out there who are, the strength hordes, now grit can get you killed pretty quickly, especially if you're fighting against somebody who is a crit build, and now they've got Thwarting Counter or something like that. And if they have, really good twitch reflexes and they see you enter that grit, or they know how your mechanics work, boom, you're now going to get a huge chunk of health taken off of you for entering grit. So, well, you can see here that with these new additions, a lot of strategy is going to be involved with countering, and, it's making counterplay just so much stronger now, right? Thwarting strikes. Deal 3 to 12% additional damage while you have active grit. So, a counter to the counter, right? They're making it even more appealing to enter grit, but at the same time, you're going to have to use it very, very carefully. Stringent strikes. Fully charged heavy attacks deal 3 to 15% additional damage. So for those who like to have, the 1-2-3 combo, like whenever I use Hatchet, I usually have a 1-2-3 combo. Usually I'll have 1-2 light attack, and then I'll go right into a heavy attack. So some additional bump and damage there. Transient crits. Fully charged heavy attacks deal 5 to 20% additional crit damage. Huge. Now, from what I understand is that this only applies to its own modifier. It's not on top of your already crazy crit damage. Okay. Stringent Rend. Fully charged heavy attacks apply Rend for 7 seconds, reducing target absorption by 4 to 15%. Huge. So pretty much everybody has the ability to apply Rend. Now, this kind of affects hatchet users a little bit. So for anybody who uses, the axe to rend, probably going to see less builds with that now. So keep that in mind. Transient Recovery, fully charged heavy attacks, heals the player for 10 to 30% of the damage dealt. Once again, yet another passive way for people to heal, which is good because I've always felt that there needed to be a little bit more passive healing available to users. So this is a pretty good welcome addition in my mind. Physical aversion, you take 2 to 4% less damage from ranged, physical, light, and heavy attacks. Elemental aversion, you take 2 to 4% less damage from ranged and elemental, light, heavy attacks. So once again, some more damage mitigation, which is probably going to be needed. Obviously, there's some changes to Outpost Rush and whatnot. Economy progression rewards, we've actually gone over these various things in previous videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Refining recipes, we don't need to go over that. Rewards, don't need to go over that. Let's see. Let's go down to the next one. PTR testing. This goes right into what happened this morning with the downtime. Level 60 backstory now provides trade skills at level 200 from 180. A new character is required for this change to take effect. The level 60 backstory now has all teleportation shrines unlocked. A new character is required for this change to take effect. End game changes once again. As a result of PTR feedback, we made the following changes. Now, I went over my take on this in the previous video. Once again, link down in the description below. Introducing a new type of gypsum. And this is really awesome, guys. This feeds back into, those bumps into gear score. They are adding diamond gypsum, which can only be found during certain events in a tournament. Once again, certain events. I can guarantee you it's going to be in the new winter event. So really super awesome event coming up, guys. So if you are still not yet fully convinced to come back, I think this particular part right here, if I was taking a break and not currently playing the game, this would probably bring me back because we have the winter event coming. Once again, like I said, I have a link to that video below on my take. You get minimum gear score weapons of 520. So for those of you who haven't reached level 60 or you're fresh into 60, you can get a small little bump there. The fact that you are going to be in this event and you can now get diamond gypsum for the daily casts, once again, yet another way to get a bump, okay? Recipes that are one-time use and are going to be exclusive to the event and are probably only going to be usable during the event. Yet another reason to return to the game, right? So let's go ahead and continue on with the patch notes. Can only be found during certain events during the tournament. We always said that. During the Winter Convergence Festival, level 60 players will earn this gypsum when interacting with their first 3 trees of light a day. So the trees of light, if you don't know what the winter event is, in each one of the main cities, you have a Christmas tree, and you go out in the world, you collect presents, and you take those presents to that tree and turn them in. So for the first 3 trees that you do per day, you get gypsum. Super easy. Super easy. It doesn't get any easier than that. Our goal is to give players even more options to progress their expertise, as well as improve the rewards of the winter and future events. Each day, the first 3 interactions with the Tree of Light in settlements will grant presents that will also grant a lockbox with a gift of appreciation for participating in the festivities. We reduced the cost of crafting a gypsum orb from 100 coins to 2.5, and gypsum cast from 475 coin to 5. We decided there was no need to add another coin expense for our level 60 players, but kept the minimum amount so the endgame territory owners can earn a little more tax income. Reduced the cooldown on Topaz Gypsum Attunement Potion from weekly down to daily. I actually went over this in my previous video, which means players will now be able to earn enough Topaz Gypsum to craft an orb each day. We also reduced the crafting ingredients to make it less difficult to craft and increased the drop rate of Topaz Gypsum when the potion is in effect. Once again, yet another way to get those bumps. Absolutely awesome. Reduced gypsum earn cooldown timers from 22 to 18 hours. just to give a little more leeway to people's play schedules. You don't want to be, pigeonholed into thinking, because I think originally it was like 23 hours, so you only had like an hour leeway, right? Well, now you have more flexibility. If you normally get on and play, say, 5 o'clock in the evening after you get home from work, well, now you have some leeway to log on even at 8 o'clock, right? So absolutely awesome. Adjusted the way expertise bumps work, so there is a minimum as well as a maximum. Now, what they're talking about is each time you get a bump, like a drop that actually bumps your expertise score, it's going to be a minimum of a certain score and then a maximum of a certain score. The minimum set is to 2, and a maximum starts at 5 and ramps down to 2. Our goal is to average around 35 bumps required to get from min to max expertise. So, not bad. They're not saying that each time, you get a drop. I mean, it could be one drop an hour. It could be a drop every 2 hours. Heck, it could be 3 drops within a 30-minute period of time span, right? But there are so many ways now under this new expertise system to get those bumps that getting to 600 expertise is what it's going to be called now. I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad as what it was for the super sweaties. So, I mean, I kind of feel sorry for them, but I mean, they're already at their 600 gear scores now. They got bukus of money, so it is what it is, right? Gypsum is now rewarded for completing an event rather than given in reward cachet from the event. Please note that there are 2 known issues that we will address before this feature goes live. Corrupted breaches currently give 2 amethyst gypsum. This should be 1, so a little bit of a fix there that they need to do. And it is possible to earn more than 10 topaz gypsums a day. This is beyond the intended daily limit. Okay? So 2 things that they know they need to fix, which is good because that's the entire purpose of the PTR to begin with. So it is nice to see that they are not rushing this and they're trying to get all their ducks in a row and get everything fixed properly before the update goes live. Here are the perk changes. New perks, logging efficiency. Once again, logging speed increase from 5 to 25, mining efficiency 5 to 25. So everything there in the life skill bracket is set for a minimum of 5% all the way up to 25%. So I have a feeling that these are going to be pretty sought after, right? And here we go into the new plague meta that is coming. Plagued crits, critical strikes against targets below 50% health, inflict disease for 6 seconds, reducing healing effectiveness on the target by 10 to 25. So taking that down from 40%, which was pretty ridiculous, to 25. Awesome. Can't trigger more than once per attack. Plague strikes, melee weapon, heavy attacks against targets inflict disease for 8 seconds, reducing healing effectiveness on the target by 10 to 25. Can't trigger more than once per attack. Thwarting Counter, melee weapons deal 5 to 15% additional damage against targets with active grit. Stringent Recovery, fully charged heavy attack heals the player for 10 to 30% of the damage dealt, and it can't trigger more than once per attack. And a perk bug fix, rogue perk, fix for rogue perk to no longer increase crit damage on standard crits. It will now apply to backstabs only, which to me makes total sense because that's probably the way it really should have been, hence the name rogue perk. For those who are World of Warcraft players or maybe a nin or something like that from any other games, typically your rogue is always somebody who attacks from behind, right? General changes, expertise level per slot now shows on the inventory screen, which we already know. Fixed the number of bugs to the Winter Convergence Festival, made several balance changes to the Winter Convergence Festival, including making related encounters less punishing for solo players. Fixed the number, which I'm assuming they're actually talking about the ice caves in that event. Fixed the number of NPCs who were buried in the recently fallen snow. Fixed the number of bugs with the new camp skin system. Fixed a bug causing the screen to blur after interacting with the crafting station. Yeah, nothing really super important there. But yes, overall, guys, so I think considering the new perks, so for those who outright quit the game and said, oh, I'm not coming back until this healing meta, which is absolutely absurd, by the way, is over. Well, here's your excuse to come back. The healing meta is going to be over as of the new PTR update whenever it goes live on live servers. We have server mergers going on right now. There's an entire EU subset of servers that are all being merged into one. So North American servers, I guarantee you, Mergers for them are going to be coming very, very soon as well. So there's another reason. The new winter event, going to be super easy to get Gypsum to give you those bumps in gear score. So for anybody who is in that level, 50 to 60 range, very good opportunity to get some good XP, get that level 60. And if you are level 60 or dang close to level 60, it's going to be a super easy way for you to get bumps in your watermark, or sorry, expertise is what it's going to be called. Gypsum system overall and the expertise system overall, it's going to take this game in a direction that I think everybody has really been looking forward to. So in all, I think this is a very, very good time to return to the game. If you're taking a break, come back, give the game a chance. I think this is going to take the game in the absolute right direction. And if you're currently playing the game, maybe this is actually a good time for you to possibly take a little break. So that way, whenever we get the new winter event, you're going to be nice and fresh to get your grind on. So there's my points, guys. Once again, I'll have the links down below in the description for my other 2 videos. That way you can see, my points a little bit more in detail.
Hey, Johnny. Yeah, you. It's you from the future. Don't forget to tell them to hit that like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a little tickle so that way they get notified when you make future uploads. Your future self thanks you. You're welcome.